Good morning to all. I'm not sure if they forgot to make my cappuccino or what. What's going on here? They ground up my coffee and I think they forgot my cappuccino. We'll just wait a couple of minutes. Anyway, here we are. I'm just gonna wait until a couple people come in. I can't really, well, let me show you here. This is, let's see. And today I forgot my tripod, unfortunately. This is my tripod. That's my tripod today. Anyway, we're here. Good morning. Sawadee Ton Chow, Sawadee Cup. Today we're going to talk about a couple of things, but we're going to talk a little about Thailand's education system. I'm still going to go over the top 25 destinations because yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, no. What's today, Monday? Saturday, I did the stream, the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul stream, and I was going to go over the top 25 destinations, and basically I forgot to go over them until the very end. And I did go over them, but I didn't get into any explanation or anything like that, so maybe I'll go over those a little bit. And also we're going to talk about the debacle that I streamed this weekend. Not my stream being a debacle, although I wish I could have shown the TV, but that's the Tyson Paul fiasco, and it was a fiasco. That's all I'm gonna say. It was. Listen, the fights this weekend, you know what fights are starting to become, and they were like this earlier, but it was on a much lower, less grand scale. It's about, can we entertain you even though we know who's going to win? Can we do that? And this weekend was a perfect example of that. With almost every fight that took place, there were a couple fights that were good fights. The women's boxing yesterday was quite good. And I don't really like women's boxing, but it was quite good. Usually, the women are, I don't want to sound misogynistic, but they're not quite as good as the men. Be honest, I just don't like watching them fight as much because I want to see a guy, and just like you don't want to see a guy who has no knockout power. He's got, 40 wins and 5 losses, and he's got 6 knockouts. Unless he's got incredible skills, you don't want to watch him. You want to watch a guy who, if he hits you, that's it, it's over. Or maybe he hits you with a couple of punches and he'll take you out. And most of the women just don't have that. And, whatever. There are some that do. There are some women I have liked watching fighting. But yesterday's fight was a very good fight. That was probably the best fight of the whole day. And of the day before that. Day after that. So it is what it is. All right. Hopefully we'll get a few people in. On Saturday we had 93 people in, which is a couple more than usual. It was a decent day. I think they forgot my coffee. I don't know. They don't usually forget my coffee. But they ground up my coffee. I paid for a cappuccino, and they haven't brought me my cappuccino. So if they don't give it to me in like the next 5 minutes, I'm going to remind them, hey, you didn't give me my cappuccino. So anyway, today is what, Monday? Yeah, today is Monday, November 18th. And the dollar versus the Thai baht, 34.74. It was at 35. It's been hovering a little bit around, over 35, a little under 35. I'll take the 34.74, but I would like to see it hit 35. Who knows what's going to happen? But anyway, you just gotta do the best you can with whatever the exchange rate is, and hopefully it won't go too low, and everybody will be happy. That's what we hope for. The air quality is a shitty 102, which is not unusual here. It's 80 degrees. It's kind of cool. It'll be the high of 91, low of 77, and the feel like temperature is 84 degrees, and the humidity is 84. And it's supposed to be sunny now through Friday, and then it'll be a little cloudy, and who knows. So anyway, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Dale. You are number one. You are first. Yeah, you are first. So anyway, this weekend, the first thing we're gonna do is just gonna talk about what happened on Saturday, man. And it's like P.T. Barnum said, there's a sucker born every minute. They're not making my coffee. I gotta tell them. Nonga, nonga, nong, nong, nong. Cappuccino. Boomแล้ว I really forgot. Anyway. Yeah, well, I don't know why they got this music going. Oh, you know what? God damn it! I'm not there today. Hang on a second. 1 second. Carlos. All right. Now it should be working. All right, there we go. Hopefully this is working. But like I was going to say, there's a sucker born every minute. And you really, when you look at the clips of Tyson, and I mean, listen, I get it. Both guys want to sell the fight. Maybe they knew ahead of time what the fight was going to be like. Maybe there was a script. Who knows? I don't know. That's the thing. I don't think anybody knows except them. And they're putting out things saying that there's a script and everybody knew how the fight was going to go. Well, if you look at the script, Tyson was supposed to get knocked out in the 5th round. He didn't get knocked out, which would have been disastrous if he got knocked out. Well, people would hate Jake Paul even more than they hate him now. And I don't like him because I don't think boxing is purely a business. There is still sport to be left in boxing. And that's what I don't like. I understand they got to make money. I understand everybody's got to make money. First of all, they fought an 8-round fight that was 2-minute rounds. They didn't use the smaller gloves. They used 14-ounce gloves, not 10-ounce gloves. And to say it was a glorified sparring session is giving the fight more credit than it really deserves. That fight was not a glorified sparring session. It wasn't even a sparring session. Now, when you look at the clips of Tyson when he's training, all the clips are 4 or 5 seconds at most. He's hitting the back. Bop, 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 bop. Oh, and then they go to another clip. Bop, 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 bop. Okay, I can do that with myself. I can do that with me lifting weights where I look great. Now, I've done it where I'm a minute on the bag, 2 minutes on the bag. That's not very much. He can do that. But they want to make him look better than he really is. Now, the other thing is that when he was, thank you. They're really good here, Netflix is offering Jake Paul $10 million to push George Foreman down the stairs, man. George Foreman doesn't need the money, and nor is he that stupid. Now, honestly, I mean, even now, I don't know. George Foreman hits like Tyson. He hits hard, but he's an old man. I don't even know how old is Foreman. 68, 70. I don't know how old he is. Let me see here. He's 75. He's not going to get in the ring. George Foreman's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He's not going to get in the ring. Now, with Tyson, I think Tyson was worth 10, 20 million. So he made another 20 million. Okay, so he's going to have a better lifestyle than he's had. You know, he lost a lot of stuff. He spent a lot of money. Can you blame him? I can't blame him. You know, you're 20 years old. You're young and dumb and stupid. You know, what is it? You go to Tokyo, you get, 5 girls, 10 girls. You give them $2,000 each. Here you go, honey. Give them $5,000. Oh, you need this? You need your mama sick? Okay, here you go. Oh, that water is hot. But he when they were sparring, they didn't really show Tyson sparring. They showed a couple of little clips, like 2-3 seconds, and they showed a clip where he hit the guy with the left hook, and you couldn't really see the left hook hit the guy. And the guy sagged back into the ropes, and it was like, okay, that's it. Sparring session's over. Mike, oh, great. So they made him look much better than he really is at this point. And Jake Paul, they show him, and it looks like he's got a big gut on him. He didn't have a big gut on him. He was in good shape. I mean, give the guy credit. He has become a boxer from being a YouTuber. Now, I don't like him picking on all these older guys and all these guys who, he knows, like, oh, Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz doesn't have the power to hurt him. So he's like, I'll play around with him. He's probably not that fast anymore. I'm faster than him. I'll win. Mike Tyson, he's an old man. I'm too fast for him. On my feet and with my hands. What's he going to do? He isn't going to do a thing. Tyson came close with a couple of punches, and that was about it. After the first round, Tyson died. In the second round, he was dead. And after that, I went, holy shit, I don't want to see Tyson get knocked out. And honestly, I think Jake Paul probably carried him. So that was a complete fiasco. And the thing is that when you look at it as a sensible person, he's a 58-year-old guy. That's like saying, oh, put me in with a guy who's 25, 25, 27, whatever Jake Paul is, 27. Put me in there with him. He's faster than me. He's younger. He's stronger. He's got more endurance. Who's going to win? And it's not like Jake Paul has an abundance of skill. He has some skill. He's not a great fighter. He's okay. And he's gotten better since he lost. So, but the thing is, he needs to fight somebody at his level. Maybe a regional title. Let him fight some boxer. Pick his weight, whatever weight he wants to go at. If he wants to be a heavyweight, let him fight at heavyweight. Then pick a regional fighter, for like a North American title. And the guy who has the title is a deserving champion. Let him fight him. See how he does. If he wins that fight, okay. Maybe let him fight 1 or 2 times more, and then let him fight for a championship, a world championship. Then he deserves it. But like to say to Canelo Alvarez, oh, you've got to come up from 165 and meet me, at maybe 190 or 200. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. So he's got to, that's the thing. Jake Paul has done well business-wise, but as a sport, he's making a mockery of it. That's what I don't like. Because for me, listen, I'm old school, man. I was, a little kid when Ali was coming up. I was 8 years old when he fought Frazier. And I wanted to go to the Miami gym to train. That's where I wanted to go. And my mother was like, nope, 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 you're not going. She would not let me go. And I was like fighting her. I mean, I asked her several times, no, you're not going. She knew. And she was smart enough to know that, it's a rough business. And I tried until I was 16 years old. After that, I was like, I got to get out of the house. And at 17, I left. Stupid me. But, to have this kind of a fight, you need to have, I don't know. To me, I look at it from an old school point of view. Put him in there, match Jake Paul. Let's see how he does against a North American champion. Okay, or a USBA champion or something like that. If he gets beat, okay, well then he's got to take a step down. He may not make the same money, but from a business standpoint and from the sporting standpoint, he's in there with somebody who deserves to be there. He's in there with someone who has a good chance of winning. Now, if he beats the North American champion or USBA champion or whatever it is, there's an abundance of titles out there. I mean, he could go for the Latino championship. They wouldn't say, oh, you're not Latino. Oh, you're fighting out of Puerto Rico. Oh, okay, that makes it okay. I know about these organizations because I worked in boxing and I was a journalist in boxing. And I know a thing or two. And I know that these organizations, while they are good in that they give the titles up for the TV rights, they say, okay, well, we've got this title fight because the TVs don't want something that's not a title fight unless people know who the guys are that are fighting. If Manny Pacquiao was going to fight, well, I could say Manuel Marquez, but he was not all that well known as a fighter. But you say Manny Pacquiao's fighting some other guy that's a big name in boxing. He moved up and he was going to fight Canelo Alvarez. That fight is huge. Now, if Canelo didn't have a title and Pacquiao didn't have a title, no one would care. They just want to see the fight. But that kind of thing doesn't happen in boxing very often. So the TV channels, the cable channels, HBO, Showtime, pay-per-view stuff, they got to have a title fight most of the time. So that's what these organizations are good for. The only thing is they're to get a cut of the money, and it's a fair amount of the money. And yes, sometimes they do some good things for the fighters, but most of the time I look at them and they are a scourge on the sport. And I've never liked them. It used to be a newspaper decision. That was a long time ago. Newspaper decisions. Who won the fight? And they would go by how many newspapers picked for whoever it was. They would all be sitting there. They'd have to put out the scores. So when I see that, I got a little sad. And then I thought, you know what? I'm not that sad. You know why I'm not that sad? Because the only person that I really cared about was Tyson. He says he wasn't doing it for the money because he's just a guy. He don't need that much. He doesn't have to go back now and buy a bunch of Rollses and Rolls Royces and all these other kind of expensive things. Of course, he probably likes nice things, but for him, buying a nice pair of sneakers and get some nice, pants, and dressing well, and making sure his kids have everything is enough for him. So he probably had enough money. He didn't need more money, but that extra 20 million in his head. And that's supposed to be what he was going to make, 20 million, and Jake Paul was going to make 30. That was enough in his head where he went, listen, I'll get in the ring for 20 million. I'll fight. I'll train for, however long it is because I'm an older guy. I got to just train. Now me personally, of course I was, I was just doing it for fun most of the time. Although I did fight, but even now, I go, I'm not going in the boxing gym. Because you go in the boxing gym and you see all these young guys hitting the pads, hitting the bag, sparring, and you're like, oh, yeah, I want to do that. Last time I got in the ring, I got in the ring with my buddy who was like, I don't know, 10, 15 years younger than me. I couldn't, honestly, I was slow and old, and I was like 50, 56, 55. No, I was probably 56, 57. There's no way. But, just hitting the pads, okay, I felt pretty good. I could put together a little combination. I was okay. But when you get older, forget about it. There's nothing that you can do that's going to turn back father time. Nothing. And you see guys like Bernard Hopkins, George Foreman. Okay, George Foreman wasn't that old when he won the title. He wasn't in his 50s. Let me see how old he was. I think he was 45. I don't remember these things so well anymore. Yeah, he was 45 years old and 299 days. And he won one. He was smart. He fought guys that he knew he could beat the next couple of times. Actually, yeah, he fought two guys. He won the title. And then he won the WBA and IBF titles. The next fight, he fought for the IBF heavyweight title, and he won the WBU, which is the World Boxing Union, and it's not a well-recognized title. And then the fight after that, he defended his WBU title and also his IBA, International Boxing Association title. Then he fought Lou Savarese, and that was his World Boxing Union heavyweight title. Then he fought Shannon Briggs, and he was almost 49, and he got beat by decision. So that probably made him go, okay, no more. And that was 27 years ago. So there's no way that, obviously Foreman is done, but I'm just saying, when you get older, there is no turning back father time. So damn shame we had to see that. Hopefully Netflix will put on some very good fights. The really good fight that took place on that card was between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. And they just went at it. They were two women who fought like men. They weren't little pity-pat punches. They really got into it. And they didn't stop throwing. The whole fight, they were throwing blows. I mean, like nonstop. So it was a great fight. That was probably the best women's fight I've ever seen in my life. Better than their first fight. So there you go. So, it wasn't all bad, but for the most part, that show was a shit show. And what I don't like is it was 11:30 here in Thailand. And they're saying it's got to be another 30 minutes and then we're going to have the title fight. I'm like, you're going to sit here, leave us with Rosie Perez, Roy Jones, and who else was it? Somebody else who I don't even remember, and that tells you something. And you're going to leave me with all these people here and these little celebrities. I don't give a shit what they have to say. They have nothing useful to say when it comes to the sport of boxing, except Roy Jones, who is a bit of a blowhard. And he had great skills at one point. Yes, he was a great fighter. But he's constantly tooting his own horn. He never lets you forget that. The thing is with George Foreman is he was always humble when he was an announcer, and it was great. He worked with Ferdy Pacheco. These guys, these were old school guys. They didn't fuck around, man. They were talking about boxing. It was serious business because when you get in that ring, you can either die, you can be disabled for life, and there are many fighters like that. There's quite a few. And it's your business. So in one punch, and that's it. Your career is over. You're not gonna fight anymore. You're not gonna earn any money from boxing anymore. Maybe those paydays, $250,000 paydays, $2.5 million paydays. That's over because you got hurt. You can't fight anymore. So it's serious business. It's not like with Jake Paul. It's a big show. It's entertainment, and that's not what I personally want to see. I mean, he's drawn attention from the mainstream to boxing. But for what? To see him get in there and beat up on guys that are old and over the hill? Who has he beat that was legitimate? Nobody. And Mike Tyson was not legitimate at 58 years old. If Mike Tyson was 28 years old, even 38 years old, Jake Paul wouldn't have stood a chance. So, good morning, Mr. Dowlow. Good morning, good morning. It is 8:56 here. All right, so we talked enough about that because I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And what really made me sad was they said to Tyson, "Is this it for you?" He said, "I don't know. You're going to fight again? I really don't know." And then he admitted that when he had that ulcer, he had, like 8 blood transfusions. And he almost died. And I'm like, dude, you almost died. You just had a fight. You went 8 rounds. All right, listen, maybe he carried you a little bit. Who knows? But you lasted the fight. You're 58 years old. I dare say that if he got into it with somebody on the street who didn't know what the hell they were doing, there was some jackass who tried to rob him like they did with Jack Dempsey. Jack Dempsey knocked out 2 guys in New York when he was like 75. I think that would probably happen if you messed with Tyson. But that's neither here nor there. These fights are abominable. They should not allow Jake Paul to, well, I don't know. Before the fight, he said, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to knock you out." After the fight, it's, "Oh, I pay homage. Oh, it's honorable Mike Tyson. I'm such an honor to be in the ring with you." And he's bowing to him at the end of the fight. It's all fucking bullshit. Listen, Jake Paul will say anything to make himself look better. This is what I think. I don't care if anybody else agrees with it. I think he's a jackass. Hey, Tokyo Sam, how you doing? I think Jake Paul's a jackass. I think he's very smart. And, he used Tyson for what he is, a name. And Tyson was like, "Fuck it, I don't care. I'll get in there with his ass." Because Tyson's a fighter. And, you kept seeing him bite on his glove. And while everybody said, "Oh, that's normal, that's normal," and Tyson afterwards go, "Oh, yeah, I bite my glove." I've never seen him bite his glove like that. What I have seen him do is bite down on his mouthpiece and come forward and just go for it. Especially at the end of his career. He bit down on his mouthpiece and said, "Fuck it, I'm a man, I'm going to go for it." I'll give him credit for that. He is not a pussy. I mean, he knew, okay, he had to know. Chances are I'm going to get beat. Now, he didn't get beat up. He was lucky. Whether Jake Paul went after him, didn't go after him, whether it was staged or not, whatever, he didn't get beat up. That's all I'm happy about, because I don't want to see some old man who has to get carried out. I don't care if it is Tyson, get carried out on a stretcher. And then they're talking about, "Oh, my God, he's knocked out the great Mike Tyson." Well, this ain't Mike Tyson. This is an old man. If you look, he left his whiskers on. They're all gray. I'm like, why are they leaving his whiskers on? Oh, because it shows that he's an old man. So, I still remember, because I'm old enough to remember this stuff. I remember when Ali fought Cleveland Williams, and he fought Frazier, and he fought all these great fighters, Norton, and, of course, Foreman. I remember when he did all these things. But I also remember when Tyson was coming up. Nobody really knew who he was. I was watching him then, and I was like, wow, this guy is something else. And then he fought Trevor Berbick, and I remember going to a bar to watch the fight because they didn't show the fights that on TV very easily. You always had to have cable, and it was, you always had to pay for it. And I was like, it's a bit of a pain in the ass because I don't really want this, because cable wasn't as big back then. So I went to this bar, as I used to do, to watch the fight. And he knocked Trevor Berbick senseless. And I just remember leaving that thinking, oh, yeah, boxing is going to be great. At least for a few years, it's going to be great because it has this guy as its face. Now I think, look at Jake Paul. If he thinks he's the face of boxing, I'm sad. It makes me sad, man. Really. I look at him. I look at Canelo Alvarez. I even look at Floyd Mayweather. I look at Mayweather as an extremely skilled defensive fighter who had brittle hands and was a very, very good fighter, maybe even great. But I don't believe he's one of the greatest. Say what you will about he never lost and all this other bullshit. Okay, so maybe he's in the top 20. No, being a pro boxer is dictated by you got paid. I was a pro fighter. I got paid. Seems like anybody who is a pro fighter these days is just people who can afford it. Now, they got to get paid. In order to be a pro fighter, you are getting paid for your services. An amateur fighter, in the strictest sense, is someone who does not get paid. No, that has nothing to do with it, whether you pay the boxing commission or whatever. If you get a license to fight and then you get paid for your fight against someone else, that is a pro fighter. You may only have one fight, 2 fights. But if you get paid $50, $100, $200, you're a pro fighter. So anyway, I could go on and on and on about this. It has nothing to do, Sammy, the only thing that matters, you are fighting and you're getting paid to fight that other person. That is a pro fighter. No, it doesn't have anything to do with whether you win or lose. It has nothing to do with that. You can be 0 wins and 25 losses and you're a pro fighter. Because you're getting paid every time you get in the ring. Okay? So that's about it. But anyway, like I said, I can go on and on. Well, it's not really lame. Are you a pro photographer if you're getting paid for all your photographs? Yes. If you're an amateur photographer because you don't get paid for your photos. If you never got published, if you never got paid, you are an amateur. Well, Sam, I hate to tell you, but your thoughts about boxing don't really matter to the people in charge. It has nothing to do with that. I think you don't really know that much about boxing, to be honest. If you are just starting up, generally, you will fight people who you know you can win because they want you to win. They want to build you up. Eventually, you're going to meet somebody who is a good fighter who you're going to have a hard time with. And that's where the rubber hits the road. If you beat that guy, then you fight a better fighter. And then a better fighter, and a better fighter, and a better fighter. Well, I tell you what, you want to step in the ring as a gladiator? I didn't really think so. All right, listen. I want to get into, first, before I get into the education system, I want to just talk about the top 25 expat destinations, which I talked a little bit about it on Saturday. I'll talk about it a little bit more now and get into why, and then that'll be it. We'll get this done. I have something else planned, but that's going to be a video. Number 25 is Spain. And I'll tell you what, Spain, there's a lot to do in Spain. The cost of living is fairly low there. Okay, I can see Spain. It's in my list because I think it deserves to be there, but really the top 10 are my real picks. These are my picks that I wouldn't have any problem living in these places. Number 24, Australia. And the reason that Australia is 24 is because the cost of living is so high there. But it's big. You can travel around if you want. There's a lot to do. You can just stay on the continent and you'd be fine. Number 23 is Malaysia. Malaysia, it's kind of, to me, it's a little like Thailand, but same, but different. That's kind of what it's like. And, I just don't like the whole demographic of the country. That's me. I mean, you can call me what you want, but that's the reason why. Number 22, the Bahamas. Great place to dive, great place to scuba dive, skin dive, whatever you want to do there. But it is expensive. It's a bit expensive there, but it's very, very nice. It's 22 because I'd rather go there and be there than Malaysia or Australia or Spain. I'd rather be in the Bahamas. First of all, it's close to Florida. For me, this list is for me. And hopefully other people will get something from this. Number 21 is Belize. Belize is a great place. There's a big community there, expat community there. And I think if you have a little bit of money and you want to get away and you really don't want to be somewhere that is the norm, Belize is pretty good. Number 20 is Panama. Panama has been a place that expats have gone to for quite some time. And I think it's a place that people will be going in the future for a long time. Not my cup of tea. I have been there before. I've been to the Bahamas. I've been to Malaysia. I've not been to Australia or Spain. I've not been to Belize. And then number 19, I have been there, Colombia. I like Colombia a lot. Colombia is a really nice place. And then you remember, hey, it's supposed to be dangerous here. Then you get to the airport and they check you 3 or 4 times for cocaine. And, when I did that, actually, I went to Colombia because there was a boxing convention. I think it was the WBC, World Boxing Council. And I went there. And, I go out, everything was great at the convention. We went to some good restaurants. There was nice people. We went all kinds of places. And it was a good time. I was in Medellin. And, man, the coffee scene there, fantastic. And I hate to say this, but what shocked me there is that even like heavy women, I don't know why this shocks me, but even the heavier women that you might normally not go after, they look good. They took care of themselves, the way they dressed, the way they went out. They made themselves up. And they all look good. I was like, God damn, these Colombian women, they know how to do it. But the women they are not the only reason for me to go somewhere. And to be honest, Colombia, I know it's not nearly as dangerous as it used to be. But to me, I just don't want to go there. I don't know why. I just don't want to. It's not a place I want to live. It's one of the places I would consider, and I would have to really give it serious consideration. I would have to go there probably 2 or 3 more times. I went there and I didn't think, oh, I've got to move here. I didn't think that. And that happens to me when I go to places that I really like. And I really did like Colombia, but I thought this is a place for me to visit. And then one of my buddies, who is a Latino, said to me, oh, I got a girlfriend here and she's great. And I come here and have a good time. And then I go over to this part. And then I go back to the States. And oh, my God, Colombia is fantastic. Okay, I understand it. But for me, it's number 19. Number 18, Costa Rica. Costa Rica, the cost of living has gone up there. I think it's an expat destination, kind of like Thailand. It's been done. People like it. And they'll still go there. But I don't think it's as good as it used to be. Number 17, Romania. And I'm not sure about this, but just from what I heard, what I've read, what I've seen, I like it. And I would probably go there. Now, numbers 15 and 16. Number 15 is Estonia. Number 16 is Latvia. I would only go there and stay there if I was single. I wouldn't go there as a married man. Because if you're going there, I think you're probably going to find some women that strike your fancy. And the cost of living is not exorbitant. You can live there for, you know, if you got like $2,000, you can live there and be somewhat comfortable. So why not? Number 14, and I've been to this place many times, the Netherlands. And I'll be honest, I've been to the Netherlands probably, I don't know, not 10 times, maybe 7 or 8. And up until the time I went with my family, when I went with my wife and my kids the last time, I couldn't believe how expensive it was in Amsterdam. We had a Mexican meal in Amsterdam. It was $120 for 4 of us. I was like, why is this so expensive? We got a hotel, and what happened was we reserved the hotel, and for some reason they canceled. And then they said, oh yeah, we can't give your money back because you didn't contact us back. And we were on the plane at the time, so we had no way of contacting them back. And so we had to find another hotel. We found another hotel. It was $80. And I'm like, you know what? This ain't a great hotel, but it's good enough. Let's get it. Because every other hotel is a lot more expensive. So we better get it. And that's what we did. So I like the Netherlands. I would not live in Amsterdam just because of the expense. But I really like it there. And at one time, it was a place where I was trying to go. After my first and second trip there, when I trained in Muay Thai there, I thought, I really want to move here. And I'll just train in Muay Thai and, you know, I'll figure out how to make some money and I'll be okay. It's not quite that easy. All right, I'm just going to go over these fairly quickly. Let me see here. Okay, number 11, 12, and 13 are Serbia, Slovakia, and Slovenia. And I'll be honest, they just strike my fancy. It's kind of like Estonia and Latvia. I know about these places because I know people who are good friends of mine who have been there, who have lived there, and I believe what they say. So those places are 11, 12, and 13. Number 10, Mexico. Now, this is where you get to the places where I would probably stay in these places. Number 10 is Mexico. The cost of living in Mexico is a little more than I'd like to pay, but you know what? It's a nice place. If you go, you know, depending on where you are, it can be a very, very nice place. You can have a lot of fun there. And you know, I've been there many times, but it's been a while. But I went on a cruise once and went to Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and was it Cabo San Lucas? Yeah, Cabo San Lucas. And then I've been to Juarez, and I've been to Ensenada, and I've been to a lot of other places. So I really like Mexico. Any comments? Jesus Christ. Number 9, Vietnam. The only reason Vietnam is not higher is because of their visa program. They don't have a lot of positive things to do with their visa plan. There's not a lot that you can do. It's not like you can say, I live here, I've got a retirement visa, or I'm going to retire, I've got a 10-year visa, whatever it is. They don't allow that. They don't have that in place, and that's a big, that really detracts from Vietnam. And I wish that it didn't, but you know, it does. And you know, I just noticed something. Cambodia gets an honorable mention. Okay, I don't really want to live there, so that's why it's not in the top 25. But I know it very well, and I could live there if I wanted, and maybe I would like it. Who knows? And it's easy to stay there. Number 8, after Vietnam, which I do like a lot, Indonesia, which I really like, and I've been there. I don't know how many times, but a lot. Number 8, Croatia. No, number 7, Croatia. Number 6, Czech Republic, Czechia. Number 5, and I'm there for the beauty of this, Greece. I'm not there to stay in Athens. I want to be on some island. You know, yeah, I want to be on an island. Number 4, Albania. And Albania, I may go there next year. We were planning on going a couple places. We may go there. It just depends, but it is expensive to go and take a trip to Albania and to go to. Hey, Andy, how you doing? It's a bit expensive to go to Albania and then go to London, New York, South Miami, or Fort Lauderdale, Miami. From there to Ecuador, come back and do it all again. It's like $11,000 with spending money. The tickets alone are, I don't know, what is it, 2,000? No, I don't know, about 1,800 each, something like that. So they're not cheap, but I do want to go there and I do want to give it a try because I've heard nothing but good things, and it's one of those places that's a hidden gem. Number 3, and I've been to this place, is Portugal, and I really like Portugal. And actually, number 2 and number 3 are neck and neck. I like them both fairly equal, although I do like Ecuador quite a bit. And Portugal, I was in a small village in Ecuador, whereas in Portugal I was in Lisbon. But the smaller places in Portugal are supposed to be quite nice. So, and I'd like to go there again. It was that nice to where I'm like, okay, I'd go there again. Even though I've been there, I've seen it. There's a lot of other things to see in the country. But number 2 is Ecuador because I love Ecuador. I don't know what it was, but I really liked it there. That's why Ecuador for me is like Colombia for, what is it, Fire Dude? Yeah. So Andy, how you doing? Where are you doing? Where are you? What's going on? And number 1, guess what number 1 is? Thailand. Number 1 is Thailand. All right. So now we got that out of the way. It took 45 minutes to talk about Tyson and to talk about the top 25, but now we'll talk about the education system in Thailand. There you go, Sammy. I'm going to talk about it. Maybe Andy's not here. I don't know. There's a lag, I'm sure. But anyway. Oh, listen, I forgot all about it. If you like this stream, smash the like button. Subscribe. If you have not done so already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'd love that. That'd be fantastic. You can go down in the description, or you can just check things out. You can check out my website at americaninbangkok.com, where you'll find merchandise, a little bit of information, some videos, and then, of course, my books, which you can also get from Amazon. Or you can use the Cash App. You can use Patreon, buy me a coffee. Or you can just check me out on social media. And, yeah, that's about it. I don't know. Does it sound strange to everybody else? You know what I'm finding out about these microphones that I bought? They're cheap microphones. They're not expensive. They're about $10, which is cheap for 2 microphones and the receiver, or the transmitter. And the thing is that the batteries don't last all that long. Maybe 2 hours is what it lasts, and then it goes dead. So you know what? Let me try this. There we go. I'll just try it this way. Thank you for all the interaction. I'm asking people, please let me know how the sound is. Is it decent? Is it good? Is it not so good? Is it warbly? What is it like? Because I do want to buy some really high quality. Thought it sounded okay on your lapel. Okay, we'll put it back then. I'm going to get a another high quality microphone. It seems that the Rode mic that I have is gone to shit. Although I have something else I can try with the Rode mic, and maybe it will work. I don't know. I'll have to square that away. I've got StreamYard, which can allow me to stream, but I have to stream through the computer, not the phone. You can do it through the phone, but they don't have it set up right. And to stream on your phone is a bit different than to stream on your computer. And my computer is old, and I'm just not getting another computer until this one takes a shit. So, we'll see. Everything will come about. But, what I've learned is I almost always get what I want. Let me put it this way. I almost always get what I need. Sometimes I get what I want. But the things that I need, I may think I've got to have them, like by Friday. And then I don't get it for another month. They come slower than I think. So I think it's important to remember that. And like I said, I've got the Rode mic. I didn't think it was working that well, but I'm going to stick a lapel mic with it, a wired lapel mic with it, and see how it works. But it's hard to differentiate the sounds and which is much better if it's not markedly better. And so we'll see what happens. I got to test them out. So anyway, all right. So now let's get to education. Thai education system. Let's get to that. Basically, I'm not sure how it is in some countries, but for children 3 to 5 years old, um, you have the you have you have the preschool, which is like kindergarten, and that's where they basically teach them little basic skills like oh, don't fight with your friend. You got to share. You learn things like this. When they get to be 6 to 11, that's grades 1 through 6, which is pratom, which is the primary education, and it is compulsory. Kindergarten is not mandatory, but most people put their kids in kindergarten. We had our kids in preschool, then we had them in kindergarten. They were in there at like 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old was kindergarten. Then they got into preschool, and we paid for them to go into these schools. They were not free. We had to pay. So we got 2 kids, which is, I was thinking about today. I thought if I had it my way, they would have been going to Oxford and they would have, learned all these things that maybe they would not learn here. But I didn't have the money. And then I thought, oh, well, maybe, I could have put them in a better international school here. And I thought, yeah, but I got 2 kids. And they're around the same age. So that's why they didn't, because I had the money for 1, but I did not have the money for 2. I did not have the money to put them through a 400,000 baht a year, 500,000 baht a year private school and have 2 kids in there. I just didn't have the money. So, it's kind of sad, but hey, that's the way it goes, Anyway, so grades 1 through 6 is the pratom. And it includes things like teaching Thai language, mathematics, science, social studies, health and physical education, arts, and English. Once they hit 12 years old, they go to Matayom. 12 through 14 is Matayom. Matayom 1 through 3. And it's compulsory under the 9-year education requirement here in Thailand. Similar subjects as the primary education, but more in depth and some vocational options. So basically, they just expand on what they were teaching in grades 1 through 6. Now, when they get to be 15, that's when I started noticing, noticing some of the, how can I say, some of the loopholes in school. some of the places where maybe they're not learning as much as they could, or maybe the teachers aren't so good. Once they hit about 15, that's where I started seeing these things. And I wanted to change it, change their schools up. But I mean, we're paying, a fair amount of money for them to go to school. And, they just, I couldn't change them because here in Thailand, many places, if you want to change schools, you got to pay an entrance fee. You got to pay a fee like T money. So you might be paying 400,000 baht just to change the school. It really depends on the school. It could be a lot less, but to go to a good school, and we tried to get them into one school, and we didn't know exactly. We didn't have a person that could give us an introduction into the school. So it was like, well, how are we going to do this? We just didn't know how to do it. So we kept them in the same school. Now, I thought the school was good. I didn't think it was fantastic. I thought there were some things lacking, but okay. And, they learned things that they were learning before, but they learned science and math and arts. And then they start to learn some technical and skill um, and other types of skills rather. Hopefully it will get them ready to go into university if they are going to go into university. And both my kids are in university. No need to go to uni now. Electricians, plumbers, making really good money here in Oz now. They make pretty good money here. But Alex has already graduated. Nicholas is still in school. Uh, and, hopefully that'll all work out. Alex has to have some things done to his jaw in the near future. And so then after that, he can start working. He can really apply himself. He's been working, but now he's not. So, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe Nicholas would be good at a trade. I don't know. He's a bit better with his hands, and he likes exploring things and looking at things and trying to figure them out. Let me see this here. Yeah, it's still on. Yeah, he seems to be the better one with his hands. Alex doesn't want to he doesn't want to touch stuff. I don't know why. He's not like, if you eat some shrimp, Alex is going to use a fork and knife to get the shell off. He won't just squeeze it off with his fingers. I don't know why. I have no idea why he's the way he is. But that's something, and I used to give him a hard time about it. Now I just don't bother him about it. He does it however he wants. That's fine. So, all right. So next is the university level, which both of them have done. There are public and private universities. Alex went to a public university. I think it was public. Let me see. Was it him that was the public one? Let me see. Let me see. I think it's a public university. Yeah, it's a public university. Okay, so he went to see Nakarin We wrote, which was perfect because he just jumped on the boat and the boat dropped him off behind the school. He walked in. Simple. It's about as good as you can get. And he's already graduated, which I'm very proud of. Now, this school, first of all, it's expensive. Now, if you compare it to the United States, it's nowhere near as much. And, you figure in the United States, it might cost you $400,000, $500,000 to put your kid through school. And yes, maybe you can get grants, maybe you can get loans. You can do all these things. We didn't have that option, and it's not $400,000 or $500,000 here. Maybe you pay $4,000, $5,000 a year for one kid. But you think $500 of $5,000 a year for one kid is about $400 a month. You know, that's not affordable for some people. And we're lucky he's done. He's gone. And I'm like, listen, if you want to go to get your master's degree, we can help, but you got to pay part on your own. He's got business management. He should be able to get a job pretty much anywhere. He's looked at a couple places. He had a job, and now he's stopped because of his jaw and everything. He's got to get his jaw worked on. But um, yeah, we'll see what happens. So it is what it is. But like I said, you got to pay. And you figure if you're paying $400 for one kid, and let's just say you're paying another $400 for the other kid, you're paying $800 a month for them to go to school. It's manageable, and it was manageable, but it's not. It's not what you would call, oh, it's so cheap there. You only pay, like you go to Ronkaming, I think it's $150 a term, 5,000 baht a term, plus the books, and the books are not that much. So depending on what school you go to, prices are going to be all over the place. Now, the government does give free education. You can go to a free school if you want, but you have to pay, well, it says that it includes free textbooks, uniforms, and some meals. But in a lot of places, they do charge for the uniforms. They do charge for the textbooks. And you may pay 2,000, 3,000 baht a term for one kid, which is not much. It's $50, $75, something like that. Or you might pay nothing depending on where the school is. And the public schools, they tend to focus on rote learning, which I think you should have some rote learning and some kind of critical thinking that you should deal with. But the Thai system has always been criticized for their lack of critical thinking and creativity, which if you look at what Thais are good at, they are good at getting something that has already been done and taking that and making something else of it, or making something exactly the same and then just continuing to do that. They're not good at coming up with these ideas. Now, that's starting to change a little bit, but again, it is what it is. Now, urban schools often outperform rural schools due to better funding and resources, and private schools and international schools are seen as superior, but of course, they're going to cost you. And that is a biggie. Yeah, well, I mean, everybody really has heard about that. It's, hi, what's your name? My name is Joe. Where you come from? Oh, I come from America. Oh, wow. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. That's rote learning. They teach you when you say I'm fine, thank you. Not going to. I have to go to school and change my name on the paper. Yes, I know that, Nikki. All right, so Nikki just messaged me. Oh my God, he's got some things going on with school that his name is not right. I'm like, how come your name is not right? Oh, because on one of the papers, my name is Nicholas is my first name. Stephen Mallon is my last name. I said, well, Stephen is your middle name. Yeah, I know, but they screwed up. I said, okay, so what's your name on the other one? Nicholas Stephen is my first name, and Mallon is my last name. So they're giving me a hard time about it. So there you go. These are the kind of headaches that you have here. In rural areas, there are a lack of qualified teachers, and basically that has to do with money. People know, oh, if I'm going to teach in this little shit town here, I'm not going to make much money. So I better go to Bangkok, and I'll make double what I'm making here or triple what I'm making here. So that's something else. Despite being part of the ASEAN region, English proficiency remains low compared to neighboring countries. That's the big one here. And that's why I'm very happy with how my kids have turned out with regards to their ability to speak English and ability to speak Thai. Alex tested on his TOEIC test the other day, and it was like 875, which is pretty damn good. Which TOEIC is about, you know, testing for English. So he did very, very well. And, you know, I'm like, okay, you better do well. You know, you learned how to, you know, you were bilingual. You took bilingual school up until you were 15 years old. And then it got to be where he was better than the teachers. So it was like, what's the point? So that's something that Thailand really needs to work on. Now, they are getting better. I'll give them that. They're getting better. A lot more people speak English, at least some. But the thing is, there's a disparity between ages. There's a lot of older people and not that many younger people being born. But the younger people tend to speak better English. The older people, you know, they're either people who have traveled abroad and they speak good English, or they're people who don't speak much English at all. So they need to figure that out. There's a heavy reliance on exams such as ONET and GAT, PAT to determine the academic progression. And I remember when my kids went and did their ONET tests, which I have no idea. All I know is they need to go and they've got to do well on them. And they did do well, but I just think about it and I go, okay, so what's the purpose of these tests? Oh, it's to show how good you're doing in school. Yeah, okay. International and private schools, they are growing in popularity among expatriates and more affluent Thais. You'd be surprised at how many Thais go to bilingual schools and international schools. There's quite a few. And they always follow either a British curriculum or American curriculum. And English is generally the medium of instruction. And listen, when Alex went to school, they taught in English. If you don't speak English, you ain't getting in that school. So you better speak English and you better understand it, because you're going to be trained and you're going to learn in English. So that's really important. There have been government initiatives to promote digital literacy and vocational training, and they are making efforts, the government is making efforts to improve English language teaching and critical thinking. As I said, I do think it's improving. I don't think it's fantastic, but it's improving. So that's good. There are programs to integrate STEM, science, technology, and engineering, mathematics into the curriculum. Okay. I don't really understand that, but then I haven't been in school in almost 40 years. All right, so non-formal education is aimed at those who missed formal schooling, including adults and disadvantaged groups. That is managed by the Ministry of Education's Office of Non-Formal and Informal Education. It focuses on literacy, vocational training, and lifelong learning. They also have homeschooling here, which is legal in Thailand, with families required to follow national curriculum guidelines. And they offer flexibility for expatriates or those with unique educational philosophies. I understand that, and you know, I think you have to be at a certain level yourself. You have to be trained, and you have to be able to teach certain things. And I just thought that's not going to be me. You know, I didn't want to sit with my kids. Maybe I should have. I don't know. But I just thought to myself, if they sit with me, I don't know exactly how much they're going to learn. You know, I want to have confidence in my abilities, and I think I'm pretty smart most of the time. But I just thought, I don't know if I'm going to be patient with them, if I'm going to want to. I just didn't know what kind of a teacher I would make. So you got to think about that. Now, there are some temple schools, and generally these schools provide education to underprivileged children, and they're usually free. And they usually combine general education, overall education, with Buddhist teachings and moral education, which, quite frankly, I don't want people at school teaching my kids morals and religion. I just don't, especially the morals. They can learn the morals from me and my wife. We don't have a problem getting that across to them, what you should and should not do. You need to learn and you need to teach the kids right from wrong. You need to know, okay, what is the better decision? You need to think about your decision-making process and then figuring out, okay, how do you go about making your decisions? And that's very, very important. And I don't want to leave it up to the schools to teach them, hey, I got this hot looking chick that I don't really like. Should I bang her because she doesn't want me to use a condom, and little things like that. I don't want that kind of thing to go across. I want my kids to think for themselves. I don't want them teaching them there. I'll teach them. My wife will teach them. And I'm very serious about that. My wife especially is extremely serious about certain things that they need to learn. And the only time I've ever really seen her pissed off is when she's teaching things to Nicholas and Alex, and they are trying to rebuke what she's saying. And she's like, no, you need to listen. I know what I'm talking about, and you don't. And you need to trust me on this one. Those kind of things. Some boys can temporarily ordain as novice monks to study. And Muslim schools also do this in the South. With the curriculum, they teach Islam. And something else that I didn't think about is the what was I going to say? I forgot. God damn it. I didn't. I remembered it, but I was like, okay, well now I kind of remember it. It's going to take a second, and now I forgot it. I can't remember. Military training. No, military training. If you have a child here, that child is going to have to go into the Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever. He's going to have to go into the military. Mandatory service. Unless in school they go through the junior ROTC program, which I'm not sure. Let me see here. I'm not sure how much training they need. Is it 2 years or 3 years? Let me see here. I think it's 3 years. Yeah, here it is right here. Reserve Officer Training Course for academic year. Military recruitment postponement. All male students, 944. Yes. All male students of Thai nationality are required to register with Thai military when they reach the age of 20. A citizen can register for training at an earlier age. Training courses taken in high school or at a university may count towards meeting national military requirements. And that is where you get them out of it, because I did not want them to be involved in the military here. I'm still like, maybe you guys should go to the military in the United States, and they're not really having it. Although I wouldn't mind. I'm not sure, but I leave it to them, when it comes to that kind of thing. But they don't have to go into the military here in Thailand because they took training when they were younger, when they were in high school. They went for, I think it was 3 years. Matayom 10, 11, and 12. And they had to go 1 day a week. They had to go out to this military training place, and they went in a uniform, for the military. And that was the uniform for that 1 day. They put on their uniform. They went. They had to go At first it was like we were taking them, and then I think in 11th grade they started going by taxi themselves, and they just took care of it. And they would just go. They knew where to go. They go take me to this place. They drop them off right there. They'd walk in, and they were, there's 100, 200 other kids there, all learning the same thing, and they put them into, squadrons, and then they learn. And because of that, they don't have to do military service unless they want to, which is great. So, because I didn't want them doing military here in Thailand because you don't get paid that much. There's a lot of shit that goes on that I don't know how I feel about it. But, I just don't want to get them involved here. I would much rather they were in the United States military as opposed to the Thai military. A key government focus to meet the labor market needs in industries like tourism, agriculture, and manufacturing. That is important. The vocational training, it offers certificates, diplomas, and pathways to university for skilled trades. And some people undervalue the vocational training, but even though it's perceived as a pathway for less academically inclined students, it's very, it's important. But the prestige and appeal that you get, like, oh, I've graduated from university, and it's different. You go to university, and you're viewed as smart. You go and you become a vocational person where you're going into some industry that you don't need that, like cutting hair or something like that. And people go, well, so you didn't get your degree, Anyway, international rankings in global context, PISA rankings, program for international student assessment. Thai students often perform below the global average in math, science, and reading. Highlights the disparity in educational outcomes between urban and rural areas. That's true. English proficiency, as I said, Thailand is ranked low among Asian countries. And I think it's like, out of like 12 places, it's like 11th or 10th. So they need to improve. And what it is English teachers don't make shit. They make 30 or 40,000 baht. It's been that way for many years. If you're lucky, you're going to make 60, 70, 80,000. Lucky, and you work your ass off. And then, you've got English teachers who are Thai, who are nowhere near as good as Americans, Brits. And you also have people like Filipinos. They bring in all sorts of people. But I think what they need is some people like Americans, Brits, to a lesser extent Filipinos, that really can teach them from like grade 1. They start teaching them how to speak English, and then they're going to improve. But of course, that means more outlay of cash to the people who are teaching. And this is the thing: teachers never get what they really are worth. So if you got some guy, he's a great teacher, and he goes, oh, I'm going to make 30,000 baht working at this school. And then he goes, oh, but if I go to Japan or China, I might make 75,000. So where do I work? You work wherever you're getting paid better. That's what most people think. So, I don't expect it to, I don't know. I don't expect Thailand to get that much better with their proficiency, but we'll see. The government does have initiatives like bilingual programs that aim to improve proficiency, but so far they have proved fruitless. And I would say, I think about improving my Thai to where I have like a high school equivalency of Thai to read, write, and read, write, speak. Speak in Thai. And I look at I look at some of the places that they're teaching it, and it's like, if you're not going to an English school, then you're going to go to a university. And some of the universities, it's like they just put everything in Thai, and they say, oh yeah, change it in English, and then you go to where they're supposed to teach people to speak English, and people who speak Thai, excuse me, and everything's in Thai. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, now I have to sit here for a freaking hour to read this one little paragraph. So that's why, I personally get my kids to help me out with it because it takes a lot less time. But they don't make it easy for people. And I can only imagine if you want to learn how to speak English, I don't think they're doing enough. All right. There is a rise of e-learning platforms and smart classrooms, government-backed programs to provide tablets and digital resources to students through implementations, although this has faced many challenges. They're trying to integrate students with disabilities into mainstream schools and offer special education programs and uh, further teacher training, and that so far has been not so good. They want to incorporate the arts into traditional education, focusing on fostering innovation and creativity. So they are making an effort, but I don't think that effort is panned out yet. Public schools, okay. Expat children can attend but often face language barriers in public school. Tuition is minimal or free, but quality may vary. Private and international schools. Now, here you go. Annual fees range from $5,000 to $30,000 per child, depending on the school and the curriculum. So let's say you got $1 million for one kid. Now you got two kids. You got to come up with 2 million baht. You think that's everybody can afford that? No, it's a little out of reach for a lot of people. If it's $5,000, okay, you got to come up with 10,000. Even that's difficult for some people, So I mean, this is why it's harder to get into a private school and an international school, and you often wonder what's the payout going to be. Generally, these schools are popular among expatriates for their quality and English medium instruction. However, as I said, there are some more affluent Thai kids go to these schools. Students begin the day with a flag raising ceremony and the national anthem. They always play the national anthem at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Y Crew ceremony honors teachers annually, reflecting Thai respect for educators. If they got respect for educators, they'd pay them more. That's my thinking. They would pay them more. All students, including university students, in some institutions are required to use uniforms. And the uniforms are seen as a form of discipline and equality. Some people don't have the money to be dressing in Pierre Cardin or Boss. They don't have the money. And so, they alleviate that by making people use uniforms. The academic year runs from May to March, divided into 2 semesters, long school hours, often from 8 a.m. to 3:30. That's bullshit. You think if it's 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Now, my kids, they might go to 3:30 p.m. and they might have an hour after school where they have to, they're playing some phys ed or something like that. But they used to go at, I think it was 6:20 in the morning for a while when they were young. The van used to pick them up at like 6:20 in the morning, and they would get home at like 5:30. And I'm like, that's a long day for a kid. I mean, he's gone for a long time. And so I am somewhat grateful that they turned out the way they did, even though they went to these schools. For a comparison of Thailand's system, all right. I'd like to see the comparisons with the Philippines and Vietnam, but I think that's probably for another stream. Is there anybody out there? Jesus Christ. Nobody wants to know about the education. Everybody wants to hear about the education, but they don't want to talk about it. I think that's what it is. Like I said, the other day I had almost 100 people in the stream, which is pretty good. The only time I've had more than 100, well, there may have been a few times, but I had like 400 in Hong Kong. That was pretty good. And I thought, okay, this is all right. 400 people watching. But that's because I was getting shot at. There was tear gas going off. So the other day when I did the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight, it was around 100. Now it's at 20. And no one's talking. Imagine that. Unbelievable. What about Songkran? What does Songkran matter? Songkran is 6 months away, 5 months away. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China, Dowlo? Tell me. Loe Kraton. Loe Kraton. Not Loe Kraton. Yeah, thank you. Let me see here. Let me put it in here. There you go. In Bangkok, you had a lot of viewers doing Songkran. Yeah, I guess. You know, this is the thing. I aim to have a lot of people watching every day that I'm streaming. I need to make it a little more excitement, a little more exciting. But I'm sorry, for right now, this is what you get. I wanted to talk about this subject for a couple of months, and you know, it's something that I think if you're somebody who has kids and you're living here, I think it's important. Now I have, let me see what is left here. I think I have it's why is the Thai, what is it? Why is Thai traffic? Let me see. I forgot what I called it. Why are Thailand's roads so deadly? I want to talk about that. Why they are so deadly. I mean, Thailand is no longer the deadliest country in the world, but it's one of the deadliest. And that's another one I have coming up. And I don't know after that. I don't know. We'll have to see. Well, I wish I didn't have to hear this song every day, but, it is what it is. Maybe when I start having an office and then I go out, I got to figure some things out. The thing is that I go and I'll spend a little time trying to figure things out, and then I might not try again for another couple of days or a week or two. Eventually, it all gets sorted. So as long as I stay alive for a couple more years, I'll get some things sorted out, and we'll take it to the next level. I like that I know about Thailand, but I know a lot. I know a lot about several other things, and that has to do with Southeast Asia, and there are places that I've been that people don't even know about. And it may have been before I was streaming, which I've been streaming almost 12 years now. Not streaming. I've been on YouTube for almost 12 years. I think in February it's 12 years. So it's been a long time that I've been here. And, there's a lot I want to do. And I just think, how am I going to do it all? And I'm doing it by myself, and I get a little help from some of my friends. But, it's just about wading through and figuring things out. That's it. Here all the people come. Here they come. Oh, yes. So many people. I don't have much to do today. So from here, what am I going to do? I think I got to go to the grocery. And I have to get a couple of things. And then that's it. I got to go home. And I got to see what's going on because Nicholas has to do something at school today. And, I got everything kind of hinges on what he's doing and where he is. And do I need to help him with anything? So anyway, I mean, I like the whole. This is, I'm somebody who lives in Thailand. I talk about Thailand. I have a fair amount of knowledge because I've been here for a while, but I got knowledge on other things. So we don't only have to talk about Thailand, because to me, Thailand has been done to death. If you look online and you want to look something up about Thailand, guarantee you're going to find it. It might be somebody really big who did a stream on it and he's the only one. It might be a bunch of people you've never heard of that have done it. It doesn't matter. You'll find almost anything. And I saw something. Who was it that was talking about this? Where was this? Oh, it was if you guys have heard of a guy, his name is David Cho. He used to be on Vice when Vice was good. Now Vice is in the shitter and it's bankrupt. And went woke and it shouldn't have. But he was on in the beginning. He did the hitchhiking across America, hitchhiking in China or whatever it was. But he also did some things with them that were really cool. And one of the things he did was when he was younger, he just decided he wanted to go to the Congo. So he went to the Congo and he had no money. He had enough money to get there and he had a little bit of money and he didn't have anything else. And he survived there. And then he went back with Vice. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I don't know how that relates to what I was talking about, but he did a lot of things that I really liked. And, now I think he's pretty much settled and he's not, I don't know if he's still got a podcast. He used to have a podcast with unbelievable. The little girls come in, they're all friendly. They're all waving at me. I'm like, okay, hello. Didn't expect that, but look at that old man screaming. Look at him. Anyway, he went to the Congo. He did that kind of stuff. He hitchhiked across America. He did all these things. And I think about it and I think, listen, how did this guy do it? What kind of gear was he using? He didn't have top-notch gear. Well, what can I do? And what he said, now I can remember what I'm getting at. What he said was, I was thinking about where to go and what to do because nowadays, and this is, when he's talking, this is like 15 years ago, 10 years ago. He's like, everything's been done. You want to go somewhere, everybody's been there. You want to do something that nobody's done. It's very hard to come up with something. It's like you got a unicycle across America backwards because it's already been done forwards. You got to do it backwards the whole way or something. I mean, that's what it takes. And like I said, first of all, although I live in Thailand, this is not everything. I've been just about everywhere in Southeast Asia at least a handful of times. Sometimes 20, 30, 50 times. And I just think about where can I go that is different. And I do think Cambodia, I do think Myanmar, and I do think Indonesia. There are some places that I'd like to go. But Myanmar, you go right now, you might have some problems. Cambodia, okay, I know there's some things you can do. You're probably going to be out there by yourself. So maybe you can do it through there. There's things I think of like that. And then you think about Africa, and Africa, it's the Wild West there. So anyway, I can tell everybody wants to talk here. Everybody's so talkative today. Jesus Christ. But that's what he said. He said, nowadays, and this is, like I said, 10, 15 years ago, he said, everything is done. What are you going to do that hasn't been done before? Where are you going to go? You want to explore. You want to have an adventure. And now I look up things on ChatGPT about adventure. and going places. Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on, man. That's poppycock. That's nothing. Really. That's I mean, that's the kind of thing that you go, okay, not that many people go there, but the reality is a lot of people have been there. I guess maybe that's like when I went, and I always say this too. Uh, what the hell's it called? Wat Puto. Come on, man. Come on, man. There are many other places that are, they're the best beach in Southeast Asia. They're the best beach in the world. Thailand's got that. Indonesia's got it. The Philippines has got it. Okay, Cambodia has a couple. Yeah, all right. Great. And I've been to them, you know, or they don't interest me, you know. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I want to figure some things out. And I'm always trying to figure things out. And sometimes I'm lazy. I admit it. Sometimes I'm lazy. Sometimes I go home and I just go, you know what? I'm going to work on this video. And I just sit there and fiddle around for 2 hours, 3 hours, try to edit a video. And then I go, oh, shit, 6:30, 7 o'clock. I got to eat. And I eat and then I go, oh, let me watch some TV. Okay. What am I going to watch? And I get bored with what's on TV. I don't know about you guys, but I look on Netflix. I go, what the fuck am I going to watch? There's nothing on here I want to watch. Once in a great while, you know. And then I go, oh, I got to watch movies from the 40s and 50s because all the movies now suck. Or most of them suck. It's just like music. I don't enjoy today's music. I don't know a lot of the bands that play, the people that sing. I mean, I know who Taylor Swift is. Do I like her? No. I know who Katy Perry is. Do I like her? Fuck no. So I'm always looking for stuff that is new and exciting, and it's not that easy to find anymore. It's a different world today. And I have to think about certain things and come up with ideas for myself. I watch a lot of movies from the 40s and 50s, even the 30s and the 60s and 70s, I watched, the other day I watched Sunset Boulevard. That was pretty good. And then I watched, what was the one that I watched where the guy was, Sullivan's Travels, 1941 movie. Good movie, a little light, a little fluffy, but pretty good movie. The thing with the movies back then is, nowadays you see a movie or you hear a song, it's been done before. It's sort of like this, or it's sort of like that. You watch a movie and you go, oh yeah, that's like that movie that was made in, oh yeah, they kind of copied it. They don't come up with an idea where they go, this is something you would never think of. Oh my God. Why do you think people like Squid Games? Squid Games came out, people go, oh my God, I don't remember this. Where this? They loved it, right? Now it's been done. So that's the whole point. And in Thailand, I look at Thailand, I go, oh, okay, so I can go climb up this mountain. Okay, big deal. I've never climbed the mountain before. I've never gone up into this kind of area. Maybe it would be a unique experience to go to this particular place that I've never been. But a lot of times I go, eh. And if I was younger, I would get into kayaking. Well, I'm not that young. And the last time I went and kayaked, I thought, doing this by myself would be kind of deadly. Maybe I could do it, maybe I couldn't. And I can guarantee you my wife would be like, you dumbass, you're an old man. You're going to go out there and it's going to be hard on you. And you're going to find a place that is difficult and you might die. Just like walking, and I'm walking going, I'm going to walk across Thailand. Across Thailand, okay. Only takes a day. The length of Thailand, after 2 weeks, She was like, "What are you doing, you dumbass? You're gonna get run over like a dog, and I'm gonna pick you up. You're gonna be like a dead dog on the road." So it's hard to come up with something that is smart, hasn't been done before, you know, fairly safe, but a little bit adventurous. To think about all that, when you really think about it, it's not that easy. Listen, I would love to be a kayaker, but I'm just not. I mean, I do okay, but like I'm not world class by any means. It's not so much the ocean thing. I've done ocean kayaking here in Thailand a couple times, and it's fun. But we're talking about places where if you run into some rough water, you just kayak, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you're back on land. I'm not talking about places where you're going and you could go and kayak in some of the islands, and you go from island to island. That's possible, but it's a bit more dangerous. You know, and I was with two quarters Korean yesterday watching the fights. Which again, the fights, okay, a couple of fights were okay, but then you look at it and you go, okay, this went exactly how I thought it would go. Started following when you started walking across Thailand. Trouble with soy dogs. Yes, the purple soy dogs. They got the purple medicine. It's to stop the mange. Those dogs were chasing me, the little bastards. And then this guy was yelling at me, "There's no way out of here. You can't get out of here." And I'm like, "Oh, sorry. Jesus Christ. On a river, you don't have to paddle much. On a lake or ocean, it's all paddling." Yeah. The problem is in some of the rivers, sometimes you can't pass. There's not enough water. You got to portage it out. And I mean, there's just all kinds of things to think about. And in Thailand, I've looked into it extensively, believe me. And I talked to people who were really good at kayaking. I thought maybe I should hire this guy to go along with me on some trip. And they're like, "Listen, elephants don't walk in this river. You ain't going to be able to get through here. I don't know what you're thinking. You're out of your mind." And I was like, "Oh, well, maybe I'll just, I can do it." And they're like, "No, you're not going to do it." So, then I think, okay, so what's next? I'm not doing anything at great height other than walking across a bridge. Yeah, I had some troubles with blisters on that walk across Thailand. I didn't tell anybody this, but at the time, but I was drinking just tons of water, and I was walking down, and I was like soaked. I was just drenched with sweat, and I'm walking towards a house. The house is kind of covered up with bushes. They couldn't see me coming, and there's nothing there. It's just a road, and I farted, as you sometimes do. I farted. And then the next thing I know, I go, oh, wait a minute. And I went, ugh. And I got out my wet wipes and I pulled my pants down, like right on the side of the road. There's nobody there. Nobody can see me. I got out the wet wipes and I wiped my ass. And it was good that I wiped myself. And then what I had to do is I had to rinse out my pants and my underwear and everything else. And I'm walking just like before, and I'm drenched in sweat. But at least my pants were washed. I washed everything out. But I had a little bit of a minor accident, so I had to make sure everything was nice and clean. And that was it was only supposed to be, like 12 miles or something. It turned out to be like 20 for me. So I had other trouble besides blisters. We did a 20-mile river when it was too low once. Had to get out every 5-10 minutes. Worst thing ever. Yeah, that's the thing. So, I mean, listen, unless you are prepared for something to really suck, I mean suck to where you're like, I don't care what it is, I'm going to get through it. You have to have that mentality. And I've had that mentality before. Now I'm like, oh, fuck this, man. I just want to pay somebody to have carry me out there. Take me to this place. Okay. It's easier that way. And you don't have to deal with most of the bullshit. You know. So, coming up with that stuff, I went up that Wat Phu Khao. That's the place in Bungkhan that I always talk about, where I was up on the side of the mountain, going around the mountain to go up to the 7th floor, to get up to where there were temples down below, temples in the middle. I had to get to the very top of the mountain. And you have to go up on a narrow wooden path around the mountain. That was scary as shit for me. It would still be scary for me, but I would be like, listen, you've done it before. Just watch your step. Don't move towards the right side, and you'll be okay. It will be easier. It's been done now, right? So then I think, okay, are there other places like that? And then some of them, I look at them and I go, fuck that. I'm not doing that because if I slip, I'm going to die. It's not like I'm going to slip and I might fall and I might like get a bruised leg. No, I'm going to die. So I just think, nah, that's a little too hairy for me. And watching Tyson fight the other day, I go, wait a minute. He's 58 and he's a elite athlete. At least he was at one time. Now I look at myself and I go, I used to do a lot of crazy shit. I used to do shit that some people would never even dream of doing. And then I go, but I'm 62. There's some stuff I can do. Okay, now maybe what I should do is take a train from Bangkok to, I don't know, Bangkok to Istanbul or something, Maybe I should do something like that. Where okay, well, it ain't going to be easy, but it's not physically so demanding that, you're going to shit yourself. You're going to be laying there going, oh, my God, what am I supposed to do tomorrow? Oh, I have no power. I've had my fill of Thai temples, all seem similar and frequented by Thai women. Well, that is true, Dallo. There are a few different Thai temples. And once you've gone to those, you go, okay, most temples are the same here. Some temples are not. And if you see them, you go, all right, I saw it once, I saw it twice. I don't want to see it again. The hike to the top half of the dome in Yosemite is a wild hike. The last 400 feet, straight up using chains. Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. That's pretty gnarly. I mean, that's the thing. I look at it and I go, I want something epic. Epic. Oh, I want to go in the Congo River and go on a kayak. And no, I don't. Because I don't want to get eaten by a crocodile. I'd love to do it. If I knew, I could tell the crocodiles, chill, baby. Just you stay on that side of the road. I'll give you a little meat. You're going to be okay. But you can't. So you're going to die. As has been illustrated already. Now, if I was going to go on a bigger boat, I would do it. And some of the boats, like in that area, are not exactly the best boats. You might be, the hippos might get you, the crocs might get you. If you're in a big boat, and I mean you're in a 50-foot boat, you're probably not going to have any problem with them. And if the boat starts going down, they can probably get you somewhere where you're going to be safe. But, you never see many Thai men in the temples. My wife goes to temples here once a year, cooks stuff for the monks. They're all pretty well fed. That's why I don't go to the temples with my wife anymore. She goes, and I go, oh, go have a good time. You want to take one of the boys? Oh, okay, you're going to take Alex? Yeah, okay. Now Alex is kind of like, I don't want to go. What the fuck am I going to go with you for? He doesn't want to go. Nicholas might go, but that's because he's like, okay, so maybe we'll go out to eat afterwards. Maybe I'll go and get a chocolate. Oh, yeah, get a chocolate drink. That's what he thinks about. Why would temples be a sausage fest? Most of the time, it's married women. Maybe sometimes they bring their daughters. Maybe there are a few younger ones. Most of the time, it's women. There are a few men that go, but not many. So, you just, and personally, um, I just wouldn't, I just wouldn't like go to temples now because I just want to go see temple. I want to go see this temple. It's so unique. Well, the white temple is unique. The blue temple is unique. A lot of temples, they're not unique. They're exactly the same. The temple I just talked about where I went up the side of the mountain, Wat Putok, unique, right? Well, it's unique because of the mountain. It's not unique for any other reason. It's a little different. I thought to myself, these monks must have been on acid when they did this. You know, they had to be on acid or something because to do this is just gnarly. How would you do it? How would you build it? And then I think to myself, and you're building it with wood, and the wood is shaky, and you're 1,000 feet up. And there was a woman who died. It was a Thai woman taking a selfie. That's why, for me, I don't want to take a selfie anywhere near where I can fall. Yeah, okay, Robert. I think they were on acid or mushrooms. No, good luck and good spirits. You know, listen, I've done it all, man. I'm telling you. I used to get the cupping done where they cupped my back. I used to get the stuff done where they would they get a mouthful of water and spray it on you. It's supposed to get rid of the evil spirits. I've done all this shit, man. That's what I mean. Like, to me, Thailand is boring now. I hate to say it. It's a boring place for me. I've been to Angkor Wat. Been there, done that. Been to Battambang. Been to Sihanoukville. I've been to places I don't even remember the names of the places. You know, I mean, you think about it. Now I'm only doing maybe 2, 3 trips a year. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to Cozumel again. Oh yeah, I've been there like 5 times, and that's like 3 times too many. It's boring. Cozumel is boring to me. Really, what are you gonna do in Cozumel? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do that's fun? Oh, I'm gonna go to a different restaurant. Oh yes. I've been there. Been to Indonesia many times. I went to a place in Battambang where I saw bats, but it was not bats coming out of a cave. And I didn't really want to go too far into the cave because I was walking in bat shit. That was pretty gnarly. But that was a while ago. What are all these? You need to do Indonesia. Oh, wow. I've never done that before. I've only done it about 20 times. I did it for boxing. I went to, what was it called? What's the name of that? Borneo. I went to Borneo in Indonesia. I've been to Bali. Been to Jakarta. I've been to many places there. There are lots of tons of, yeah, I know. Indonesia, yes, I can, and that's why that is a place that I would like to go because I can go to many different places and I've never been there before. And each of them is unique. There is a volcano that I wanted to go near Bali. And you got to wake up really early in the morning to go there. And, I'd like to do that. But, you know, yeah, you have a point. You've experienced it all. Well, I wouldn't say all. That's a bit presumptuous. But when you've done a lot of things, you just go, all right, well, let me see if I can find something exciting. That's why I just go with the wife. Then I just go with my wife. I like not being alone when I'm traveling. I mean, I traveled down to Canon by myself and Sichon. I did that by myself, and the whole time I was there, I was thinking, God, I wish she was with me here. You know, I think I've been to 46, 45. It's a fair amount. My parents took me all over, man, to show me all kinds of things in America. That's what they did. We would drive to some of these places. I'd say come to Australia, but it's full of Aussies. I'd like to go to Australia, but I'd have to I've been there, but it would take me a long time to get around because Australia is the place you need to spend some time. You can't go, I'm going to go to Australia for 5 days. No, what do I want to do that for? I want to stay there for 5 weeks. Then I would do it. So first of all, you're going to need money and you're going to need a plan. Okay, yeah. Then I would do it. Wait a minute. I can't even keep up with this now. Let's see. There's caves with millions of roaches covering all the surfaces there. Listen, when it was 2/4 Korean and we went to Khao Road once. I don't remember what were doing there, and I don't remember if I was streaming or not. I don't remember. We went to Khao Road once. They were pulling up, they have these concrete blocks that if they pull them up, they can get down into the sewer. And they can clean it out. They can do whatever they want. They were picking these blocks up. I looked down. There'd be thousands and thousands of roaches down there. And I went, oh, Jesus. No, I don't need to see that shit. I've already seen it. I've already seen it. And I don't like one roach, much less a couple of thousand of them. No, I haven't been to a volcano. I'll give you that. But there is a volcano near Bali that I wanted to go. Anyway, it's the same at home, too. You've been to Colorado? Yes. So there you go. So that's why, that is why now I sit in a coffee shop. Because once in a while, an idea will pop in my head and I'll go, that's it. And then usually out of 10 ideas, I might pick one or two. And I got, my buddy, I rely on my buddy that has the place in Ecuador. I rely on 2/4 Korean a little bit. I rely on Jono a little bit. I rely on my wife and my kids a little bit. And most of the time, I ask my wife and kids, where should I go? What about this place? I've been there. What about this place? I've been there. What about this place? That place sucks. I already heard about it, and I know about it. Okay, let me think about it. Then they don't get back to me. So I don't mean to sound like there's nothing out there. There is. I know. But you got to pick and choose. Because first of all, if I pick and choose, I go, okay, that's going to cost me $2,500. So if I'm going to spend $2,500, I got to be pretty sure it's going to be a worthwhile trip, a trip that I'm going to enjoy. Now, the last trip last year that we took, that was enjoyable. That was a lot of fun. Going to Portugal, going to Ecuador, going to Ireland, going to Amsterdam. That was fun. That was big fun. And then coming back, we went all these different places. Went to Hong Kong, went to London. We were in France. Those kind of trips are, And to go by myself, it really needs to be something, honestly, it would need to be something where I go, I don't want my wife coming here. Like to go to Africa in say, the Congo or Central African Republic or something like that. I don't want my wife and kids going. Yeah, I don't know the name of that one. I know there's a place near Bali. It's a couple of hours away. Let me see if I can find it. Mount Luatobi. Is that what it is? It might be. Yeah. Mount Batur. I'm not sure, but there is one that was fairly near, and I know you can go there early in the morning, and then you can, and you can get there, but you're gonna have to spend the night there or whatever. So Mount Bromo in Java, it was great. I'm not really into the volcanoes all that much. I mean, what's exciting about it? It's hot. You might see lava, and another thing is Alex likes Japan. We have been talking about him going to Japan. He was supposed to go to Japan this year. Yeah, once you see it and you see it's so picturesque, it's so wonderful here. Look at them. It's so beautiful. And then after about 10 minutes, you go, all right, it's beautiful. That's my thinking. After a couple of minutes, I go, yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, it's nice. I got a picture of in Myanmar. We're driving along the road. People were throwing up. And he stopped the it was our minivan. I had 2 seats in this minivan. So I didn't have to have any of these people in the back throwing up next to me or on me. And we got out because they were throwing up. I got out and I go, look at this. This is fucking phenomenal. I got my iPhone out, started taking pictures. Beautiful picture. I go, man, this is unbelievable. And it always reminds me, unbelievable. And all these people were throwing up next to me at the same time. Oh my God. That's the beauty of beauty. So anyway, enough said. Do me a favor. Hit that like button once again. That would be great. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell. Yeah, you can become a YouTube member. Ooh, that's $1.99, I think. A whopping $1.99. I'm making big money now. Oh yeah, really big. I'm getting rich off of this. So hopefully you learned a little something today. I did. I learned a little something. And you understand what I'm talking about when you say sometimes places are beautiful that you want to go, but you get there and you go, wow, it's so beautiful here. And then after 15 minutes, you're like, all right, I'm kind of done with the beauty. All right, let me see something here. I'm going to look at something real quick right now. Okay. That might have been the uh, volcano that I was thinking of because it's about a 5-hour drive from Indonesia, from Bali rather. But that might have been it. I don't know. I've got to, I haven't done any research on Indonesia for a while, and that's what it's all about is the research. I did research on going to Da Nang, but like I look at Da Nang, I go, it's a developed city. What do I really need to go there? For other than I'm going there to have fun and to meet my friend there. But I wasn't thinking to myself, oh, what am I going to see? What can I do there? Well, I did everything that I wanted to do, pretty much. Indonesia's a great place. I really like it. And it's a place where if you want to disappear, you ain't going to have any problems. You can disappear. Actually, Indonesia was my first pick for a place to go when I wanted to move. I thought, I'm going to move to Indonesia. I'm going to go to Bali. I'm going to go to some island around Bali. That's what I'm going to do. And then I started thinking about Thailand, and my connection to Muay Thai kind of made it go. I kind of went, I'll go there. I'll train in Muay Thai. Okay, I'll be all right. And that's why I came. And I thought it's a little more central than Jakarta to go places. So I thought, well, it's a better place to be to see the different countries in Southeast Asia. Now I've been here for 30 years, and I'm like, it was a good move. Indonesia might have been a great move, and it might have been, sparked different interest in me, and I would have went to different places. Maybe I would have went to Australia already. I don't know, but sometimes you just take it as it comes, and you do what you want to do, and I don't look back and go, oh, I should have went to Indonesia. That's not what I do. I've been to Indonesia. I loved it. It's great. You know, um, but I don't like think to myself, you know, uh, God, I wish 30 years ago I would have went to Jakarta. I can't believe I didn't do that. I'm a knucklehead. I don't beat myself up for it. You know, it's too easy to do that. But I look at it as a thing as, okay, what can I do? What am I going to do there that's going to be an adventure? You know, I could go to Rincon or Komodo Island. There's some things I could do there. So I do like Indonesia, but I don't know that that's going to be what it is, because I think nowadays pretty much I'm going to travel with the wife or with the wife and the kids. I'm not the same as before, where I went everywhere alone and it was okay, and um, yeah, I like being with her. I like her being with me, and I like the kids being around, and I like that it's a family thing. So I gotta, if it's somewhere really dangerous or somewhere where I just don't want them there because it could get dangerous, then they won't go, and then I won't have any problem going by myself. But that might be a while. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the lovely conversation. Until next time, I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok, specifically Bangkapi again. I'm in Bangkapi. I'm not in Da Nang. I'm not in Jakarta. I'm in Bangkapi here in Bangkok. And what else do I got to say? I'll see you probably Thursday. And then I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we'll figure something out. Maybe by then I'll have something figured out. And I'll know, oh, I want to go to this place. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Anyway, take care of yourself. Chok dilel, jek and mai. That's good luck, and see you later. Appreciate it, everybody. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you when I see you. Let's see. Can I turn this thing off? How do I turn this thing off? See you later.